So Christmas is right around the corner, and it's that time of the year that you are starting to think what to offer to the people that you care about, and usually fragrances is always a great alternative. Hi everyone, I'm Joel Newman from Scent at the Moments channel, where I help you to discover the wonderful world of perfumery. So this video is really to help you, like a guidance, like a fragrance guidance or fragrance gift ideas, because we have so many alternatives out there, so many options, and it's a bit overwhelming. So here I have 6 fragrances in total, and usually for me fragrances are genderless, because fragrances is a way of art, and as such everyone should experience them in all kind of smells. It's just depending on each one tastes. And so with that being said, what we have currently, and for a century, for decades, it's in your local perfume stores and also in niche. So that happens in the mainstream, designer, and in niche also. We have this gender like marketing, where you have fragrances marked towards men and fragrances marked towards women. I mean, fragrance brands just want to capitalize their profit, and that's, I mean, it's understandable, but again, fragrances are genderless. But to help you to decide what fragrance should you pick, and most of the times, I mean, the majority of the people who really don't care about fragrances as much as we fragrance aficionados we do care about. I mean, usually they just go with the trend. People just go with fragrances that are for men or for women. So to make things easy, here in this video I'm also separating fragrances for men and for women. 3 fragrances for men, 3 fragrances for women, where 2 are designers, so 2 designers each, and 1 niche each. So with that being said, and this is in no specific order, the first fragrance that for me is wonderful, and let's start with the women's. And again, I have your fragrances for women that I love and I wear. This one, I mean, it's beautiful. It's from the house of Chanel, and it is Chanel No. 5 Eau Premiere. What a beautiful perfume this is. First of all, this bottle presentation is iconic, and I mean, it's always great and it's always good to offer Chanel, whatever product it is, but especially a fragrance. So No. 5 Eau Premiere, this is a creamy aldehydic floral scent, but for me works wonderfully for men or for women. I love to wear this, especially in spring and summer. Actually, this is one of my favorite interpretations of No. 5, and this is a very modernized version of No. 5. Usually No. 5, we have the idea of this old lady-ish smell. I mean, I really don't like the term old lady smell, but well, for you to understand, I mean, we usually have this idea that No. 5 it smells dated, because it's very heavy in the aldehydes, very dusty, and it's quite loud, actually, at least on my opinion. But a fragrance, and it's a flanker, that really changed my mind regarding the No. 5 collection was No. 5 Bleu. One of my favorite discoveries of this year, which I could easily feature in here, but No. 5 Bleu, it's really strictly for summer, in my opinion. I mean, you can wear that. That's pretty much a signature scent, because it's a very fresh, sparkly, almost watery like aldehydic smell. I mean, it's one of the most elegant, chic summer fragrances that I ever smelled. But for me, that is very summer-like, in my opinion. And this one is a bit more heavy because of the sweet creaminess, and it feels a bit more so heavy, a bit thicker, and makes this more special for all year round. Again, this is equally chic, elegant. I mean, it has the Chanel quality, it has a Chanel DNA. So you have this, again, fresh aldehydic, creamy scent that it's fantastic. It will work just fine in any woman, in my opinion, of course. This is signature scent worthy again. That was also one of my concerns, to choose fragrances that it would, like, the person that it would wear could wear it through the entire year. And this is one of them. Absolutely stunning. It's so addicting. And it will, I mean, Chanel always, every time I'm wearing a Chanel, I know that I'm making a staple. I'm making, like, people will notice. It's what I want to say. People will notice. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this. Again, Chanel, it's always a great option, and this one specifically, number 5, Eau Premiere, is just beautiful. Next fragrance is from the house of Hermès, and this is one of the most underrated lines in the designer category. It is L'Ombre des Merveilles from the Eau de Merveilles collection. I am a huge fan of this collection. I have pretty much all of them, with the exception of the original Eau de Merveilles. This one is my favorite. L'Ombre de Merveilles was my first, actually my entry fragrance into this line, and it was Love at First Sniff. And this is one of the very few amber-centric designer fragrances in the mainstream realm. So L'Ombre de Merveilles, I mean, first of all, you have this beautiful bottle presentation. This, for me, it's, again, unisex. I absolutely love this. This is, of course, amber, but you have this sparkly saltiness in here, and a bit floral, like a bit of, you have a touch, but it's a very mild touch of ylang ylang. And ylang ylang, for me, it's very hard to appreciate, because it's usually ylang ylang on my skin, it really, it just takes the scent in general. You know, it's like, I just smell ylang ylang, and it's very harsh and piercing for me to really enjoy. But when ylang ylang is done, has a side note, a very mild touch of ylang ylang. It's wonderful. And here I can smell it, but it's very mild, but it creates warmth and elegance again. It's fantastic. Usually the Eau de Merveilles line has this salty wateriness, a bit white florals, a bit musky, but this one adds this sweet amber touch that it's just to die for. Actually, I have a comparison video between Elixir de Merveilles and L'Ombre de Merveilles, which was a video, I recorded a video like a couple of years ago, which was, it was very requested back then. And yes, both very different fragrances, but I still prefer this one. And it's wonderful. It's one of the most romantic fragrances that I have. It's perfect for date nights, and it's so addicting, so sensual. It has more depth than Eau Premiere by Chanel, the one that I already talked about, but still it's a different scent in itself. Very different fragrances, but here, if you want more depth, a bit more sweetness, you have this wonderful choice here. It's L'Ombre de Merveilles by Hermès. Great performance. This is an Eau de Parfum concentration. And in the niche side of things, this is unisex through and through. This is not that niche that it's for women or for men. No, this is strictly unisex. And this is not as versatile as the previous two that I already mentioned. But I mean, I needed to pick this one because it's so special and so damn sexy. It's from House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and it is Oud Satin Mood. What a choice. If you pick this one, I mean, she will be very happy. This is one of the most intoxicating, sweet, dense, mysterious, dark fragrances that I have. Wow. This has rose and vanilla, a real overdose of rose and vanilla with a very mild touch of a woody base. Wonderful scent. It's also a bit incensey, but the sweet rose, it's just to die for. It has a velvety touch, I would say, and this is for powerful woman. I mean, or at least the woman that will smell like this. I mean, it exudes power and sensuality at the same time. Wow, so good. I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorites. Actually, it's also one of my girlfriend's favorite fragrances overall. It's Oud Satin Mood. Again, not as versatile as the previous two. This for me, it's more for special occasions, not like signature scent worthy. I mean, it can be if you go easy on the trigger. I mean, because this is very powerful. I mean, you can really fill a room with this one. But I mean, if you go very easy on the sprays, maybe can be signature scent, but I mean, to wear this during the summertime, I think it's a bit too harsh. But well, you do you, of course. But Oud Satin Mood still, it's a great option for at least fall and winter, and even colder days of spring. I mean, this is just beautiful. It's really one of my favorites from Maison Kurkdjian. From the Oud line, I would say this is my favorite. My second favorite, it's the original Oud, which I actually, unfortunately, I don't have at least yet. But yes, this is my favorite from this collection, from the Oud collection of Maison Kurkdjian. Fantastic scent right here, Oud Satin Mood. Now let's talk about men's fragrances, or at least fragrances that are marketed towards men. The first one, it's a brand new release actually, or at least it was released this year from Narciso Rodriguez. It's For Him Bleu Noir Parfum. This one right here. Actually, Narciso Rodriguez is very underrated. They have very great fragrances, especially for me. My favorites from Narciso Rodriguez are For Him, the original, and For Him, the Eau de Parfum, both created by Kurkdjian actually. But this one, I don't recall the name of the parfumeur of this one, but this is very different from the For Him, the original For Him, and For Him Eau de Parfum, because those are very musky, white florals. Actually, the original For Him is known for having that wet cement feel from the violet leaves. This one is very different. So this, although you still have the musk, after all, the musk and the violet are, I would say, the DNA of Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, either for men or for women. For women, more enhanced the musk and the creamy white florals. This one has the violets, has the musk, but it also has that sweet makeup-y iris. And so when usually we are talking about sweet makeup-y iris, the first fragrance that comes to mind is exactly Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum. And you have so many right now, so many fragrances in that genre, in the designer category. I mean, you have the whole line of the Givenchy Gentleman, which is heavily inspired by this Sentiene. You have the Valentino Uomo and Valentino Uomo Intense. You have Prada L'Homme Intense. You have quite a few options out there, but I would go with this one because first, of course, it's a new release. Second, is still different from all of the previous fragrances that I already mentioned. Because again, this has the violet leaves, this has the musk, and the iris in here is not as sweet as in Dior Homme Intense, for example. I would say that this goes more into a Dior Homme, but different. And more musky, more violet-y, if that's a word, version of Dior Homme, the original. I absolutely love this. It's really that good. Again, it's not the most original scent, not at all. But I really love how they combine the trendy iris in the men's designer realm with their own DNA. I think this is a fantastic signature scent. This is like a day type of iris. a day wear type of irises can be a signature scent. That's why for me this goes more into Dior Homme, the original, but a bit fresher, definitely a bit fresher. I absolutely love this fragrance. It was love at first sniff. This for me is very sexy in my opinion, and again, any man can wear this, or every man can really wear this, pull this one off. I mean, it has the sweetness, so perfect for young men, and it has also that fresh, musky nuance, and with a violet that has more matureness into it. So I think this fragrance is really perfect for every man, and that's why I am suggesting you. Now, although this is a parfum, this doesn't really perform as a parfum, but still has a good lasting power for 6-7 hours. Great scent right here, the Narciso Rodriguez for him Bleu Noir Parfum. Next fragrance, it's from the house of Cartier, and I already talked about this fragrance so many times. Pasha de Cartier Parfum, in this beautiful bottle presentation. So this is definitely for more mature men, but again, I consider this very versatile in terms of age, because it has a lot of sweetness and booze. It has this cognac feel, which I think it's not listed as an official note, but then you have the lavender, you have a touch of a barbershop nuance in here. So you have lavender, then you have honey, you have an ambery touch in here. So this is a very sweet, ambery, boozy, barbershop-y scent. It's beautiful, and I'm telling you, this is one of my dad's favorite fragrances. This is one of my cousin's favorite fragrances. My cousin is my age, 31, and he absolutely loves this fragrance. My girlfriend also really loves this fragrance. So I mean, this is a fragrance that every time I wore it, I always receive good feedback, because this is a parfum and performs as a parfum. This is quite intense and powerful, and so everyone will smell you, but you will not. I mean, this is not an obnoxious scent because of the fresh lavender nuances. So this is not a very obnoxious, doesn't have that sweet, bubbly, bubblegum type of scent. No, not at all. So this is not that obnoxious, but I also, aside my wares, I also recommended this fragrance to other people, and so far I don't have any complaints whatsoever. I think this is really a winner. It's one of the best releases from Cartier, and it's definitely one of the best releases in the designer category in years, because they really, I mean, they perfected this fragrance, and they were successful in modernizing their old Sentinet that was Pasha. I think I'm not a fan of the original Pasha. It smells quite cheap, at least the current version. I guess that the vintage version would smell much better, but the current formulation of Pasha de Cartier, it's not that great, at least not for me. It's very piercing, very harsh, and again, it smells cheap and it smells dated. This one, it's the complete opposite. It smells modern, smells thick, rich, intense, and it's just a very gentlemanly, sensual scent that it can be eventually signature scent, but again, a bit hard to wear during the summer because of its sweetness, because of its intensity. But you have here a fantastic alternative. It's Pasha de Cartier Parfum. And last but definitely not least, now for the niche fragrance, it's from the house of Xerjoff. And this is not the most expensive Xerjoff. It's from the Join the Club collection, and it was hard to pick one fragrance, one niche fragrance that would be, I mean, versatile, that it would smell more manly, more masculine. But I think this one really does that. And it's not that expensive. I mean, this is a 50 ml, the bottle that I will show you, from the Join the Club collection, and the price is around 170 euros retail. So I mean, for a niche, it's not that bad. Of course, you have maybe more cheaper alternatives, but for this video, I will suggest you this one, 40 knots. What a beautiful fragrance. This was a couple of years ago my signature scent during the summertime. Actually, I love this during the summer. So 40 knots is, it has that salty ambergris, so it has that buttery ocean, deep ocean type of feel, type of smell. It's ambery, it's salty, it has again that deep blue ocean, dark blue ocean feel that I absolutely love. It's beautiful. Now Xerjoff, the Join the Club collection of Xerjoff, they don't list the official notes, nor ingredients, nor accords. So this for me, it's a salty, buttery, ambery, oceanic, not aquatic, but oceanic, if that makes sense, scent with some woods in the base. So this is, man, it's so good. It's been a while since I wore this, but this is quite often compared with Ambre Nuit by Christian Dior from the Privé collection of Christian Dior. And yes, definitely I can see the resemblance because of the ambergris, or the ambergris accord that it's using here. It's similar to the one that it's used in Ambre Nuit, but Ambre Nuit has the rose, a very pronounced rose, which here, if it has rose, I don't really detect that much. And this one is more intense, and I feel more rugged, more masculine, I would say. While Ambre Nuit, it's lighter and it's softer, it's more delicate, and this one is more intense, more Italian. It's really, if you want to see what is Italian perfume and French perfume, just smell 40 knots and smell Ambre Nuit. Ambre Nuit is that more, I would say, more chic, delicate, soft, smooth fragrance, more subtle fragrance. This one, no, this is more intense, more rich, more rough, I would say, rough in a good way. So that's the difference, and I prefer 40 knots from Xerjoff, actually. Absolutely love this fragrance, and I think this is a great this is signature scent worthy. It has the intensity, and it has the intensity for fall, winter, and it has that salty, ocean-like smell that gives it versatility to be worn during spring and summer. Absolutely love this fragrance. 40 knots from Xerjoff. I think it's one of the best from this collection, and overall one of the best fragrances from Xerjoff. 40 knots from Xerjoff from the Join the Club collection. Finishing this video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below, what fragrances are you thinking to offer to the people that you care about? I would love to hear what perfumes are you thinking to offer. And thank you again so much for your ongoing support. See you in the next video, guys. Take care. Ciao.